get out!
Hello tankers and tankettes, welcome to another of my replays. Today I'm looking at another derp 82 replay. I've done one already. I think I explained in that one it was like my first or second battle after rebuying it, and I mounted the derp gun and had a lot of fun. And I've had one or two people, when I mentioned I used the 3.7-inch howitzer on this thing, I've had one or two people go, but why? Why would you do that? And yeah, the other video was a really good result as a top tier. This time I'm mid tier, and it's hilarious. That's why it's just so much fun. It's not as fun, say, as the KV2, but yeah, I don't think I've actually used the 6-pounder gun once since I rebought this machine. It's just been derping all the way. Sometimes that doesn't work out, but sometimes it does. Oh boy, it does. And even when it doesn't, it's just hilarious. So, it's the new Komarin. I shouldn't say new at this point, you know, we've had it for like a patch already. It's Komarin. And yeah, now ordinarily this would not be the best matchup because, you know, there are tier 6s around. In fact, about half the team is tier 6, just under. But also, there's tier 5 artillery, and this thing does not like the artillery so much, so I'm going to have to be cautious about that. This is also a map, you know, there are some areas where you can have cover from arty, but the way this map is constructed, yeah, I don't know why I just said. The way this map is constructed is you can either, you know, you can shield yourself from artillery or enemy tanks, but not both. I think I was just showing the ground who's boss? I don't know. Actually, this might have been not long after I had the Gnomefathers installed, so I might have just been seeing how the HE shells sound. So, yes, this is basically the trajectory of these shells. It's not unlike artillery itself. So let's see if I can put on... No. Oh, there we go. Very nice. And, you know, Hellcat open-topped vehicles, so that shell basically hit for full damage. Unfortunately, the 3001H that rushed up there is dead. I'm going to see if I can get anything on the island. No, okay, no shots there. So let's concentrate on what's going on the south then, because there's some tier 6s down there, and Hellcats, yeah, they could be pretty nasty. KV1S could be even more nasty. KV1S has got the potential to one-shot an AT2 if it gets a high enough damage roll, but the Hellcats, you know, they've got the accuracy and the penetration to hit my weak spots fairly easily, even at this kind of range. So I'm being cautious. I'm letting the friendly Hellcat spot, but they're not doing a particularly good job at it, unfortunately. They should be sort of more forward in the bushes, and he's moving up a bit, but he's just given his position away by knocking that bit of house over. So that's not the best move. This guy doesn't really know about spotting, it seems like. He's just, yeah. So this is not the best situation right now. There's a KV1S a bit forward of my position, but he's pretty low health, so I don't know how much longer he's gonna last. Let's see if we can... no, still no shots. And there's that KV1S down, and there's the enemy KV1S. What this gun is very good at, and what it has sufficient reload for, is basically tracking people, especially something like KV1S, which has got a long reload. You can just shoot their tracks, and it's a bit like the KV2 gun. The list of criticals you get from this gun is fairly impressive. So I've not actually done that much damage so far, but the number of times I've tracked that guy. Unfortunately, he got away because I didn't re-track him in time. Now, it's just me and a Type 58 at this point, and 6.6. Yeah, this is looking a bit dicey. They've got more tier 6s left than we do. But our tier 6s seem to be none too shabby. The ARL has got a kill. The other KV1S on the other flank has got a kill. In fact, 2 kills. And the Type just managed to nail somebody. So, it's... yeah, it's looking a bit dicey at this stage. 6-7. It's kind of... Not impossible, but it's all left to play for. Went in the mantlet, but even so, you know, if it was AP shells, if it had been the 2-pounder gun, I couldn't have done that, but this just exploded on the mantlet, and bam. Now, this is of course, the downside of the derp gun is the shell speeds are really very low, so trying to snipe this guy at however many 100 meters distance, if he doesn't sit still for me, then... Oh, there we go, Artie got him. Then that was going to be an unlikely shot. There's a Dicamax on the other side of the river, so that's tricky because he's got a very good view range, but again, very, very thin superstructure on the Dicamax. If I can hit that with my derp gun, that's going to work out pretty nicely for me. That's going to be just the same as whacking that Hellcat for full damage. So let's just try a speculative shot in that direction. Back up. Now, this T-34 might be dangerous if he can get around me, so it's in my interest to keep him at range. The main worry at the moment isn't actually the T-34, it's the fact that he's spotting me for enemy artillery. Well, there we go. I'm pretty sure that was a bounce from the Dicamax. And yeah, this is a, you know, against this target the 2-pounder would have been better, but I'm doing okay. And that was a close miss by enemy artillery, so yeah, took my tracks off. Or was it the T-34? Actually, I think it was the T-34 that got my track. But yeah, the M41, I'm feeling a little insecure right now because the enemy M41 is obviously looking in my direction. KV-1S on the other flank is down. The ARL is still alive, fortunately. This Stug is backing me up now. He's actually moved forward, so I'm more relying on him. Well, I say relying on him for a spotter, but actually the Stug has got pretty terrible view range, so I'm as likely to spot stuff as he is. But it's extra firepower. I'm very wary of going across the bridge at this point, because that means exposing my side to the Dicamax, and that is not something I want to do. So I'm being cautious. I'm trying to see if I attract any fire from sitting here with my front armor facing him. As you can see, I'm just not sitting still for too long. I'm wiggling around. Just being cautious, basically. I'm going to fire a few speculative shots into the bushes in a moment as well, because he might be there, he might not. He might be playing it very cautious and just spotting me for artillery, because I don't have Sixth Sense on this crew yet, so I don't know. So there's a first shell, but there was nothing there. Okay. And I'm not attracting any return fire, no artillery fire, so yeah, maybe he's actually backed off. That's a possibility. I'll put one more shot into that bush. I really should have knocked that tree over. That kind of gave my position away. Artie was looking, but yeah. And you can see our Artie is actually doing the same thing, shelling those bushes. But the enemy Dicamax, he seems to have backed off. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to try going across the bridge, and this is a risk, because you have to expose your side at this point. But I can do it less. If I go across the bridge, then that means going all the way around. Whereas if I ford the river at this point, then that's a bit easier. So, oh, there he is. Do I have a shot? No, but the Stug does. And the Stug's got a very nice rate of fire. So he's probably going to get that guy. So while that Stug is laying down some covering fire, and there we go. Dicamax is down. I'm going to ford the river. And yeah, maybe this wasn't such a good idea, but I just made it just. That's always risky in a slow machine. But I made it across. If I'd managed to drown myself there, this would have been a very, very different match. Anyway, that ARL's still in the middle, so we can count on them for fire support. There's the enemy Stug, who was camping fairly hard, so okay, let's get a shell into him if I can. Just reload. Can't see him, but we'll try a blind shot. No, okay, that one obviously missed. Our Stug is down. Enemy artillery still very much alive. That is my big concern at the moment. It's well, the score says 12-10, so I think two of the enemies managed to drown themselves, maybe? I'm not sure. But either way, it's 3 on each side left. And it's, yeah, the ARL from the island's down now. And these remaining 2 are just basically camping in the mini magic forest. like bosses. But watch this. This is going to be funny. Critical hit, fuel tanks on fire. And the coup de grace. Boom. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I think the T-49 whacked him a couple of times as well, but still. That was a stroke of luck, that really was, because now it's just a Stug and artillery to deal with. And unless I get really unlucky and the artillery one-shots me, yeah, it could go that way, it could, but we'll see. Our arty's still alive and kicking, and clearly not the worst player. They've managed to nail 3 targets. My main worry is that the Stug spots me and tracks me, and that their arty is just going to nail me. So, yeah, this is all across open ground. This is not so good. This is not so good. So I'm going to angle a bit. Angle. Can't see him yet. Fire a random shot. I'm travelling forwards, but I'm sort of zigzagging slowly. Now I take the time to sit still for that one, and he nails me, and but I nailed him back, so that's fine. That the 2-pounder gun. I mean, I don't know if the 2-pounder gun would have been effective in this situation. Is it 2-pounder? 6-pounder. The 6-pounder gun. Because there's a lot of these targets where I could have taken down, but it means sitting still for a lot longer. Whereas the thing I like with the derp gun is, yeah, nice try, Artie, nice try. I'm not going to save you now. Oh, that miss, but the T-49 gets him. The thing with a 6-pounder is you got to sit still to pound away at people, and yeah, screw you, Artie. But the derp gun means you can just fire it, and then you can angle, you can wiggle around, you can try and throw off their shots, and that's a thing I found you couldn't really do with the 6-pounder. You got to sit still to aim for that thing and to actually use it effectively, and at that point they can aim for your weak spots. So let's have a quick look at the scores. Yeah, look at them criticals. I hit criticals on everything I shot apart from one Hellcat. So that's one reason why I like this gun. Damage. I did top damage of anyone with that derp. I beat KV-1Ss, I beat the Dickomax, I beat artillery, I beat both ARLs. Yeah, and I got the top score. And, you know, 2 kills is nice. 2.1k potential damage almost. 972. I don't know if that was all spotting or if that was assistance as well, because some of these obviously I shot the tracks, but still 972 assistance damage or spotting damage. And yeah, I don't know that I would have been able to do any of that with the 6-pounder. The 6-pounder is a good gun if you're top tier, and it's effective against some tier 6 targets, but you have to be really sitting at quite a long range to actually use it effectively. Whereas the derp gun is just, it's a derp gun, and it's sometimes hilarious. Sometimes it trolls you, but sometimes it's just hilarious. And it's also a fast firing derp gun, and that's the thing I like it. Another thing I like about it is that it's fast firing and you get lots of criticals, and have I mentioned I like this gun? So yeah, if you're wondering why I use the derp gun on the AT2, this is, you know, this replay is a good illustration of it. It will sometimes produce results like that. Not that often, but even when you're in top tiers, you can basically content yourself with shooting the tracks of tier 7, you know, ISs or whatever. We're safe in the knowledge that you're gonna get them more often than not, and then you just get all that lovely assistance damage. It's a gun for all tiers pretty much. Whereas the 6-pounder, if you're seeing tier 7s, that thing is severely underpowered. So yeah, derp 82. If you liked this video, you can hit the like button, you can subscribe to my channel, you can go check out my Facebook page for news and updates and whatever, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.